Hello again, everyone. Professor Oleander here, and finishing up what would be day 18, I believe. Let me show you where we're at here. So, let's see. Day 18, yeah, we're just wrapping up day 18 now. Today we did 3,822 passenger fares, 159 freight deliveries. Don't pay any attention to these outstanding way cars because some of it's already been dropped, and then some of it we just haven't gotten around to picking up yet. But finances for today, 17,000. Um, I'm sorry, the balance was 17,000. We did 9,781 on passenger fares and 14,479 on freight. We only paid $34 in wages, and I went ahead and paid 11,000 down on my loan. So I did some extrapolating here, and I have determined that we are on tap. If we hold these as theoretical days, I think they're closer to like one day as a week. If we keep on this pace, we're destined for about 10 million per year. And kind of keeping track of things as far as how much money, how much yearly potential money the railroad's going to be making for reasons that will become apparent in a later video. I won't say anything about it now. But I'm kind of looking at what we need to do for the railroad, because my locomotives are getting to the point where they're just a little bit on the. I've kind of got them maxed out, so to speak. You can see we can go up to 136,000. I'm probably going to go ahead and buy locomotives again on day 19. I'm not going to do that on camera. You'll see them in the next video, because I think for the next video I'm going to make a sort of a montage of the work for one day, and it'll probably be in a couple different parts. Probably the first half of the day and then the second half of the day. One thing that I've really changed is I've moved my interchange time to 4 a.m. instead of 6. That gives me more time to do my switching. But yeah, this is everything that I have made today. I mean, I did make loan payment there, and I thought I made another loan payment because it said $11,000. But anyway, we made quite a bit of money, and then we've got the sawmill income that'll come in tonight, plus the stuff in the paperboard, which is what we're doing right now. We're dropping off the loads here, the pulpwood loads for the sawmill, or not the sawmill, but for the tannery and the paperboard company. So let's go ahead and reverse him. I figured what I would do in this video is finish up tonight, because I've still got cars that have got to go to the interchange. There's two here, which I'm not going to worry about until the morning. These two can go for sure. I'm not going to mess with that one. I could go grab the power cars. I think I'm going to grab the easy ones for right now. And it'll become apparent here soon while we're doing that. I've also got some other ones up in Bryson that I need to go grab and pull them into the yard, because we're planning for the extension on to Fontana, which, speaking of, I need to go ahead and do. I need to go ahead and get the next phase started so that the next 8 cars will come in. And what I have decided is, once the railroad gets extended to Andrews, we're probably going to have to probably gonna have to go through a pretty drastic change. I won't say a whole lot on that. It's one of the reasons why I'm keeping track of how much yearly income we're making. I believe we're going to have to grow a little bit, and I won't say any more than that, but the railroad will have to change. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. But the intention is once we get to that point, I will basically make a carbon copy of the railroad, and then that will become the server that I'll play on. Might open it up for people in Discord, I don't know yet. One of the things I've been doing is I've worked on a timetable, and trains are going to have symbols, which you should probably see in the next video. I'll have the train symbol up on the screen for whichever one's running, and it's just going to be kind of put together like I did with one of my Run 8 videos, where it's just kind of following trains from one place to the next. Okay, that's done. Now let's get him out of that. Don't need that anymore. So I'm gonna go grab this guy. I did set those up right. So I'm going to come over here and grab this car that's on, can't remember what track that is. We're going to grab that one, the 3 power cars, the coal cars that are up there beside the powerhouse, this one car here, and then these 2 that are back there. I'm not going to worry about these guys. I usually grab these all at once. They'll be ready tomorrow. So that's not a... Actually, they'll be ready before morning. So, get these cars, and then I'll let you see how busy the interchange is. I've actually... By the time I put these cars on there, I'll have run out of room on the interchange. And tomorrow morning, you'll see how many cars I'm going to have come in. I'm at the point where I'm having to service the interchange twice, which is one of the reasons why we made so much money today. It's the other reason why I need more locomotives, because I don't have enough to do everything that needs to be done. And it's just, with me being the only one that's switching, it's kind of hard to get everything done in one go. But you know, for as much work as you have to put into this game, it's still been a lot of fun. You know, I'm actually surprised, because I was thinking, man, this is going to be micromanagement to the nth degree, and it's actually, even though it is a lot of micromanagement because of the way that the AI trains are running, because the AI trains are kind of limited in what they can do, it's still, you know, works fairly well. I got floating windows there, or that might just be the way that the shadows are working. The game still needs some optimization. If you play it for a long period of time, it does tend to have some memory loss issues. And then, like the light right there, there's no bounce light as far as I can tell. Well, maybe there is, now that I look at it. Well, I can't tell if it's a glare on my monitor or not. But the light does not bounce. So as you can see, it's basically just a spotlight. There's no diffusion of the light anywhere. It's always just in one spot. And that's fine. I do like how the headlight slowly dims down as it shuts off. That's something that an incandescent light on a locomotive would do, is that they don't just shut off, they dim down and then they completely go out. But I do like the color of the lights. The only problem that I have with the lights is let's see, you can't really tell it. When you get close to the signal, or not the signal, but you get close to the switch stand, the color palette that they're using right now, that orange, or that kind of yellow glow, makes all of the targets look the same color. and I'm sure they can. It's just a choice light right there. You can see it. It just turns that. And same thing with the green up here. As far as I know, there's no like any sort of reflective layer that they have on them. And I have to go back and look. I don't know when they would have started adding like reflective stuff to signal or to switch stands like that. I don't think it was until like the 70s, but I don't know for sure. So I don't expect any more updates before the end of the year. The one that I'm playing on now is they changed the way the contracts work. So now you can take on from day one, you can take up to a tier 5, and the devs have done that so that people can kind of experiment. The contracts are not set in stone. They just want to toy with some things to see which way is going to work out best. So basically now, and I'll show you as soon as I get coupled up to this car. Basically the way it's set up now, you can take a contract up to tier 5. If you decide that that's too much, you don't have to wait for the term of the contract to wear out or run out, because there are no terms anymore. It's basically you do it in perpetuity until you stop. Let me pull it up now. Let's see, its locations. We'll pick up the tannery here. So you see that you can pick up any one. You can terminate if you wanted to, but when you terminate, you take a penalty for it. And these don't change until midnight, I believe. I don't want to take the contract and then I don't want to terminate it. But somebody, I think Sean Murrell, who does I can't remember the name of it. I think it was RTS for Run 8. He's really big on logistics. He ran a big server for Run 8. He terminated a contract, and I think it cost him like $9,000 or something like that. So you have to pay a percentage of what the contract would have been. This bonus here, I'm not sure how the bonuses work now, because it used to be when you took a tier, you had so many days, but now that it's not so many days, I think it's just if you don't get the cars there on the day that they show up at the interchange, you don't get the bonus. I'm not 100% sure, and like I said, they're going to change a lot of this stuff too. So I'm not getting too bent out of shape about it. But I can tell you that... Oops, did I get the wrong one? I can tell you that this is about more than I can handle. I mean, it is just this half of the railroad from Bryson to Silva with tier 5 contracts on everything. It is from the minute that the interchange opens up until I think I finally stopped around 6 o'clock that evening. It is pretty much nonstop. I've got a train in motion, going somewhere, picking something up. This day has taken me like 2 or 3 days to finish. So I'll play it for a couple hours here and then play it for a couple hours there. That's one of the reasons why I haven't had a video out. Plus I've been working night shifts. But what I thought I would do is we'll finish up today, let you see where the interchange is, see what's next, see what's going to be on the interchange. I know it's going to be 2 drops again today, because and that's something else that the devs are probably going to have to look at, is either let me think here for a second. So like right now my interchange is full, and I mean slam full. It's barely going to fit these cars here. And because of that, I have no room. It's like all legit. All three tracks down there are full, and so there's no room to run around at all. When the when you put cars on the interchange, they and I asked this question earlier. The interchange does not pick up the empty cars until it comes to service them. So unless you have cars that are inbound, it won't come and pick them up, which is a little bit annoying because what happens is, like right now I'm having to, it's one of the reasons why I'm not going and getting these cars over here and those cars over here and the other two cars that are sitting there and there. It's because I don't think I have enough room. That's one of the problems that I foresee, and I actually made the comment to one of the devs about it. I said, I can see getting into a bind where you don't have enough room to put cars on the interchange. Then you got to figure out, well, where am I going to stuff them until whatever. And somebody brought up the point, you have this whole branch line here, which is supposed to be the line that's servicing your interchange. You could theoretically use this as storage, but the problem is it comes into the interchange on the other side. Like, let's see. Yeah, it comes in way down here above your interchange, so you have to leave room to actually get through and get to it. You might have seen some of the interchange cars there. Okay, let's get this guy out of the way here. We'll do a kicker-rooney. One day, and I meant to do this already, and I just forgot. I'm going to talk about the different techniques for getting rid of cars. So that's a kick. And pretty basic. I think I went over this one in run 8. That's kicking a car. A drop is when you like if this was a reverse siding where it was going in this direction towards me. A drop would be you'd run forward and then you would let that car come off and just go past you. And I really should have kicked that car too. I didn't think about it. Too busy talking. I'm not gonna do it because I don't want to. Try not to get the trying not to get any more damage bonus. I've got something somewhere that is damaged and it's hurting my reputation. I have no idea where it is. I guess I could look at my equipment. Let me do that right now. That's 100%, 99, 99, 100. Yeah, all of my equipment except for the two Connies right here, which are at 99, and I still don't know how they got down to 99. But my operation safety is at 95%. I mean, it's only 109, max is 110. I don't know what's going on there, but anyway. Alright, let's get this out of the way. Turn that off. So we need to grab this card. There's 2 cars here that need to go. And then we're interchange bound. And I know that I was just sitting down today thinking about what I need to buy locomotive wise. Right now I'm at 8. So I've got I've got the little 10-wheeler, the big 10-wheeler. I've got 2 of the, I think it's the C24 consolidations. Then I've got 2 Mikados, the Pacific, and an 060. I don't remember if I mentioned the 060 before. And that one basically lives at Dillsboro. That's kind of what its job is it's there to run the little locals because it can't go very far. And it's just easier to have a smaller locomotive there that can do more work if I need it to. And I've already the consolidations can the little mini consolidations. Which ones are they? C25s. The C25s can handle most of the stuff at Whittier, but they're getting to the point where the trains are getting bigger than they can handle. And even with the Pacific, the trains that have to go to Bryson are getting a little bit bigger than they can handle. And the way that I'm looking at it is I've got two choices once I move into Fontana. I either I'm either going to have to just not take contracts and let everything and work on this end, or what in the world was that? Oh, it's probably because that switch is wrong, and I can't turn it either. Well, darn. All right, crap. Let's see. I guess I gotta get down there. I didn't realize I had that. I had that sitting there. There it is. All right. Let's see. Handbrake is on one of these. That one. So we gotta do this the old-fashioned way. If I can handbrakes on both of them. Nope. Is it not gonna? Or I bet the brake line's empty. I've had to do this before where I can push the car. And it's not gonna let me do it because I'm on top of it. Which is not the end of the world, it sucks. It means that I gotta go. Let me put you in the cab, that way you're out of the way. 110. Oh, I know where he's going. Had to think about that for a second. Well, that sucks. Well, alright. We've got another locomotive here, we'll just use it. There we go. Always gonna be something. Yeah, when I bought that car, I didn't even realize that I had put it on the point. Come on, Granny. Okay. All that to move this thing ahead to right there. Okay. Now that's squared away. Let's go ahead and cut you loose. Alright, and this. So I was talking earlier about new locomotives that I need to buy. I'm at 8 right now. And I think, and this is just postulating, I'm thinking that by the time I get to Andrews to service everything, I'm going to need 25, 20 to 25 locomotives to do everything the way that I want to do it. And it may be more, it may be less. But just looking at the map, that's kind of what it looks like right now in terms of power, the way that I want to run the train, which is basically you have. Really? There it goes. I was gonna say, I know I heard it. I heard it go to thumpa thumpa. But you've got road power, and you've got passenger, and then I'll have yard engines, and then helpers. Because red marble is going to take some pretty serious power, and because of that, I'm just going to have helpers there at the yard in Nantahala, and pretty much go from there as far as using it, because I don't want to keep. I'm figuring that to go over the grade with the passenger train that I'm wanting to run, I know that it's going to have help getting over. And rather than keep 2 engines on the train, just stop there at Nantahala, pick up another engine, go over the hill, and then drop back down. Same thing with freights. If I have a long freight that has to go over, just throw a helper on the rear and go from there. This is only 300 and some tons. I don't even remember how much the pulpwood trains were. It's about the max that these Mikados can handle, and I've thought about upgrading them to the bigger consolidations, the C46s. I can C46s. Yeah, C46. But I'm not going to do that just yet because, in all honesty, I'm getting ready to. The way that I'm looking at it is, I'm probably going to end up this end of the railroad is going to have the lower tier contracts, and then once I get over on the other side of Alarka, those are going to be the higher tier, because it seems like those are paying better. These are paying fine. We're making plenty of money with these, but seems like the coal mine, the copper mine, the other stuff that's over there is going to pay better because it's going to need a lot more stuff. So I think this end of the railroad will have the lower tier contracts, and then we'll go over to the bigger ones on the other side of the mountain, and then probably run both interchanges between Andrews and here. I um, thought about just running one, but I really think I'm going to be better off if I run both of them. Alright, let's get him off the interchange. That way we have room to switch cars. Because this is another thing to consider. When you interchange cars, there's enough room here for like 70 cars. But when the interchange drops, it will only drop on 2 of these tracks. It leaves one track so that you can run around. And while that's very thoughtful, it means that the interchange has to be serviced twice. Alright. He's off the interchange track. So you can see here, that's how many cars I've got in interchange now. I probably had more room that I could do all that. As far as I'm concerned, that's pretty well full. And one of the reasons why I'm doing it is because it makes sense for me to save some cars for the interchange in the morning. That way that they can swap around again, because I know I'm going to get 2 deliveries tomorrow. Just because that's how it went today, and I know it's going to happen again tomorrow. So I think that's everything. I'm going to take the Pacific to turn it in the morning. Let's go ahead and sleep. And we'll see how much money I make overnight. So 2,800 from pulpwood, 3,000 from the tannery, and 6,000 from the sawmill. And we'll wait here for a minute and see what they bring us. Cannot wait. 46 cars, and the interchange is at capacity. So there you see that it only takes up 2 tracks. It leaves you 1 track to get around on the other end. And it looks like same thing as before. We got a lot more cars from Silva this time. Dillsboro Freight, Dillsboro. Locust Pens, 3 now. I'll probably keep these little ones, but the ones for the tannery and all, that's probably going to be a little less. And part of the Bryson Bridge. There should have been 8 cars. There's 4 here, so that means I've got 4 more coming. If the bridge cars are on here, that means that the next set is going to be the 4. Standard oil, which means one of those went out. One of those went out. These are ready to grab. Your house, a sawmill. How many are here? That looks like 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nope, it's 8. 9, 10. 10 doesn't sound right. It's usually 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Huh, there's only 10 this time. And it's been 11. Hey, I got one for this guy. That's the first time I've picked up one of these. I've had that contract for a few days now, and this is the first car that I've had that actually goes there. So that was interesting. So the way that this train will get blocked, and this is sort of how I've been doing it, is since I've got so many cars here for Dillsboro now. How many cars is that? This has got to go to... I'm trying to remember where that is. That's in Wilmot. That needs to go to Whittier. Yeah, that goes to Whittier. And then that actually gets dropped on the way back. I don't drop it on the way up. I mean, I could, but the siding is reverse. It just makes more sense for me to drop it on the way back. And then I'll pick up. So everything from here forward's going to Whittier. These 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars are going to Dillsboro. All the green's going to Bryson. The reds are staying here. Yeah, all these red cars, they're going to stay here. And what'll happen is the 19, which is usually what I do to to set these trains up. Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and do it now when I'm sitting here. Is let's go ahead and grab. Well, they're going to be blocked wrong, aren't they? No. I can do it this way. These are blocked backwards from the way that I want them to be, but that's all right. I can fix it. Let me think here. I'll put the sawmill together, and then I'm going to block the interchange. This is what sucks about this, is that I don't have enough track. I've basically got to do this from one cut without doing a whole bunch of switching. Well, I can do it. It won't take but a second. Alright, so we're going to do that, and then we're going to come over here. I want to grab all the sawmill cars, put them off to the side. Actually, I just had a thought. This will be easier if I do it this way. Because I'm trying to do this in the way that I'm going to drop the cars. Because when I run the freight, it'll be run throughs. It makes life simpler that way. All right, we want to grab these two. We want to grab those two sawmill cars. Then this is how I've been dropping them. I can make it work like this without having to move a whole lot of stuff around. I just got to get these sawmill cars over here first. Alright. Sawmill. So we're going to cut this one right here. Go here, and then we're going to come and grab these other sawmill cars, put them over on this track. Oh. Turn that one back the other way. Alright, now let's go over here and grab these cars. The way that I'm doing this is I'm trying to put the drops behind the engine. So let's see here. So what I'll end up with is these cars here that are going to be the first ones set out, they're going to be directly behind the engine. So you pull into Dillsboro, you cut the cars, put them over in the siding, you come back, couple onto the train, and you go on to Whittier. And then when you go to Whittier, you grab those cars out, you run back around, you grab the rest of your train, and then you go on from there. So I just need to grab these, however many that is. Because I've got a lot more cars for Dillsboro now. But this train is not going to get pulled by the Pacific. I'm not going to tell you what locomotive is going to pull it. I've got plans. I'm getting ready to spend a whole bunch of money tomorrow or today. Yeah, today now. It's one of the reasons why I need to get the interchange cleared, because I got cars to buy. Did I damage it? Nope, thank God. I'm gonna buy. How many pieces am I buying today? If I can get enough money, I'm gonna buy 1, 2, 3 locomotives and 6 cars. Yeah, 6 cars. It's gonna basically max out everything for me as far as what I can take on my loan, and that should be the last time that I need to buy locomotives for a while, until we get to Red Marble, because I'll have enough little locomotives to handle everything else. Yeah, this is 500 and some tons right here, which is going to put this train here. These are empty. It's going to put us at about 1,700, I think. Let's get this guy coupled up and see what our tonnage is going to be, and then I've got to do some arithmetic and figure out if what I'm going to do is going to work. Like I said, I know I need to buy 3 locomotives, and I've got 30,000, so I should have plenty. I think I figured out that I needed 70,000, so I should have more than enough to buy it. Even it's going to take a bunch of my loan, but as I say on the Discord, you've got to spend money if you want to make it. 1,600, I missed it by 100 tons, but I was close. Oops. Okay, it's the next ones. That one and that one. That is all of them, isn't it? Yeah. 1,600. I said 17, so I was close. 17 or 1,600. There's a 1% grade near Cowie. All this isn't going over that. I'm going to drop off 500 and something. I'm going to drop off the 500 in Dillsboro, and then the rest of it goes on from there. So that shouldn't be too much. But this little Mikado, there is no way he can handle this. So I'm going to go ahead and set the brake on this guy, cut him loose, get him out of the way. Actually, no. Well, the Pacific's going to have to come over here and move it, because he's got enough water. I'll have to bring the Pacific over here to move that train, because I don't even think he's got enough butt to do it. So there's one more thing that I'm going to do before I call this video good, is I'm going to go over and I got to go up to Bryson, and I'm going to pick up the cars from the bridge site. I'm just going to get him over here out of the way, so that way I can come over here and couple up and push these cars back. Alright, you're good. So let's go up here to Bryson. I do need to do one thing. I knew I was forgetting something. This guy needs to go up the hill, and let me make sure I got him lined in. Pretty sure I do. Yeah, there. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I got him lined in so that those cars can start loading. That's gonna suck. I meant to do that before I slept, but it's alright. The pulpwood just got dropped there, and let me see. Oh yeah, they're at 100%, and the paperboard company, they're at 100%. So they consume 10 cars worth a day, which is basically what I'm taking over there. I think one of them gets 8 and one of them gets 9. So they have a day's worth of pulpwood there. So it takes all day to load the cars, and then that's usually the last move I make at night is drop them down at the yard and then put them into place. That way they have them. Alright, let's go and get the 200. Let's see. Don't know what I'm going to do with you yet. He's getting ready to get moved on to another job. I don't know what I'm going to do with him just yet. But let's grab this guy. And he is in manual. And I need to send him to the bridge site. Let's get you moved ahead. And while you're doing that, I've got to move you up to Bryson so you can be my dispatcher. While he's going over and doing that, so that way hopefully he doesn't run into something. And this is something else I was going to show is... Okay, that's reversed. These are all the tags that I'm using, and this is eventually going to get changed to the train symbols once I figure out the last few of them. Basically, ready for interchange. There's a bug with these tags, and it's kind of random whenever they do it. But basically, pulpwood empties. I just sent him up there. Logs empty. I've got loaded logs in the Whittier yard. I made tags for the yards here. I added the stuff that's not in there. So this is the Dillsboro yard, which is on this block right here. There's nothing in it. I've got pulpwood that just went to the paperboard mill. And then the Sylvia Interchange. I can move a lot of this stuff. Dillsboro Local, I really haven't used that one yet. I will use it today. That's in the Sylvia Interchange, or Silva Interchange. The Bryson Freight West is in the Silva Interchange. The Express is not being used right yet. And I'm going to come up with like I said, that'll be a different one. But what I do is, this is just my kind of reminder. So say I've got cars here in Dillsboro, or better yet, say the cars here in Whittier Yard for the sawmill. Once they are loaded, I will put right there, ready for interchange. And that's just my reminder. When I send the freight back, when I send the road freight back to the interchange, it needs to stop in there and grab those cars. So that's sort of one of the things that I've been working on. So I'm sure that's been reported before, but I'm sure it's a physics calculation thing. Okay, let's go over here. And just in time, because that switch wasn't lined. And there's all the cars. They're empty for phase 1. Like I said earlier, depending on, I haven't really sat down to figure out what industries are on what expansion in it, because I've still got plenty of expansions to go. So like your milestones here, the Junction Y, which I think is just a something that you purchased, then the Alarka branch, the bridges have to be bought. The rest of it is just purchases, as far as I know. And yes, I know I didn't blow the whistle for the crossing. Um, I mean, I could do like certain railroads and just. There you go. it I am a whistle minimalist. That's just, it's always been my thing to just like not use the whistle any more than you have to. But I've been places where, I mean, it's just like, oh my god, you think that's all there is. Some of you know one of the railroads that I'm talking about. It's little tiny engines that they just, there's always 10,000 of them running whenever they run a train. It's like, oh my god, fire them all up. We've got 2 cars to move. And then the other one is just, well, one of them's Tweetsy and the other one's Dollywood. It's just like, it's like, oh my god, blow the whistle. Yeah, there's a crossing. There's a crossing code in there somewhere. So these are not going to go to the interchange just yet. I'm just gonna take them into the yard, park them in one of the yard trucks. As a matter of fact, the speed so he didn't go too fast. Where am I gonna put these guys? Lined. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna put these on this track right here. That switch. This is a good place for them, because they'll be out of the way. Throw that switch too. We'll get them up here. It's funny, I've watched certain people, well, not certain people, but I've watched some guys play this game, and they just like, oh my god! Like that. And I'm not making fun of people. It's like, whatever. You want to blow the whistle like that, blow the whistle like that. I don't. Even when I played Run 8, it was pretty much you got what you needed. And that's just because I've had to deal with the angry neighbors. And they're like, why are you blowing the whistle so much? We've legit had that conversation. I don't know how many times. We would blow for a cross, and they're like, what? If I was there, if one of us was there, it was undoubtedly that one of the neighbors would come down, and they're like, what's going on? Running a railroad. Why are you blowing the horn so much? Why are you blowing the whistle so much? It's FRA requirement. We're supposed to blow the whistle. I've lived here for 85 years, and it's like, oh my god, here we go. Life story. Well, I like the railroad. It's just, y'all just blow the whistle too much. It's like, I've had to literally quote the, I've done forgot the whistle code, the rule from the book. I've had to literally quote it for people that have like messaged the railroad and talked about it. And I said, per this article, the whistle has to be blown in advance of crossing for no less than 15 seconds and no more than 30. And I said, that is the rule. Because they would say, you guys are blowing the whistle like you're going 85 miles an hour. You're blowing it way down yonder. And I said, no. I said, because I've timed them. And I said, it is 15 seconds. We have to blow it You have to start a minimum of 15 seconds before we get to the crossing based on your speed. And you can't go more than 30, and that's kind of a noise rule thing. And I've actually told people, I'm like, if you have that much of a problem with it, then you need to go talk to your city council and talk to them about making a noise ordinance where they can make it a quiet zone. I said, until then, we're blowing for the crossing. Just people don't get it. And the thing about it is that that railroad had been there longer than those homes. And what kills me is they'll go and they'll see these tracks. They'll go by these houses, they'll see the tracks, and then the realtor will either tell them, "Oh yeah, they don't run that much," or "Yeah, they." What's that one from The Simpsons? It's been, what is it? The old Union Pacific doesn't run through here doesn't run on these tracks anymore, and then the Union Pacific goes flying by in the background. Kind of the same thing. Realtor will tell you anything to sell you a house. Oh yeah, they don't use the tracks. That was another problem with another railroad that I was working with, is that for the longest time that railroad ran through the middle of the woods, nothing around, then all of a sudden 4 housing developments showed up on both sides of it. And then they wanted to start complaining. It's too loud. And it's like, you chose to move beside the railroad tracks. It's like, I can't help you that it's loud. I mean, we're doing. I mean, we can come to a compromise on it, but we got to blow the whistle. And it's not like we're doing it for jollies or anything like that. It's like we're legally required to do this. That's what a lot of people don't understand. They think we're just doing it for grins, which some places do, but it's like, no, this is minimal requirement. It doesn't matter what you do. It's like the railroad's always the evil entity. It's like we're always doing something to screw over everybody else. But let's see. Do I want to do anything else? Because I got one car, just the one. I know that there's. I didn't even look. I know there's one over here that needs to go. Yeah, there's one. This one's at 8. This one's at 62. Here, I bet you all 3 of these are ready. Oh, it's 4 ready. That one's got 16. I try and plan these out where I only have to go in here one time, but undoubtedly, like if I take these cars to the interchange, and this is one of the things that I've noticed the way this game works. The interchange gets service every 4 hours. So we got the first interchange at 4 o'clock. If by 8 o'clock I have all these cars here, the oil tanker, which I've got cars to replace these here, but like if that car right there is ready for interchange before 8 and I get it down to the interchange, that car will come in. And same thing with the cars that I've got here in the yard. If these cars over here, like that one, the ones here on the house track, which these will probably, yeah, that's only got 1.4, that's 8. Yeah, one of those will be ready. I think that one won't be. These guys don't count because they're for a project. But like if if any of these cars happen to get over to the interchange before 8 o'clock, I will get those cars in. So it's kind of how I gauge what cars I'm going to get. If they're red by the time that the interchange comes around, that's the cars that I'm getting. So that's sort of how I keep track of it. And I really haven't sat down to see how fast they unload or anything like that. I do know that for the most part, which this is something that they added and I didn't talk about. Where is it? Connolly Creek. It shows you how much they have in storage, and you can see that I'm pulling them away from them faster than they can stockpile. But the sawmill is taking 30 carloads a day, which I guarantee if I go over there right now, which I need to go over there anyway, those skeleton cars are empty. And they are. So this is ready to turn. And I can go ahead and get him ready to do that. I don't know if I've ever showed this. I think I showed it on the last video, but I'll show it again. This is... Well, I got to move that pulpwood train too. So I can do this. This is how I rotate out the sawmill. So I'm going to set a fuse E there. And then over here, about where this backstop is, I'm going to set a fuse E there on the main line. And I need to come over here. I need to line that switch out. I need to take this locomotive, make sure he doesn't need to be serviced. He can make it up the hill. He'll need it when he comes back, though. So give him orders to reverse. And just let him go to the fuse E. Make sure that's lined normal. And we need to go up here and get the pulpwood cars squared away so I can get the other train dug out. Let's see. Ah, I went to the wrong one. Went to the wrong one. I keep forgetting that I do this one backwards from the other one. So I need him to go forward. Always forget that the pulpwood loads backwards from the logs. Because normally what I do with the logs is you go in here first and then you go into the other one. The reason why I do pulpwood backwards is if you look here in Valley Creek, tracks 3 and 4 hold more than the other ones and they load more. They'll load 20 cars a day. So I make sure that I put the bulk of my cars up there first because they'll load faster. Alright. Reverse 25. I need to go up to the next one. And for that switch. And then he should be lined to go all the way up to 3 and 4. And I've got 2 cars there that are almost loaded. Throw that switch so that goes into P2. Or no, that's P2. P1 was where we just were. So what I'll do is he'll go up and he'll run into that track. Then I'll put it on the next track. But on my... I don't know why I closed that. I can go ahead and... Well, he's not ready. How much is in the sawmill right now? 69. I can go ahead and load up what needs to go. So let me, before I do that, let me go ahead and send him on down to the switch at least. I'll put a fuse there, that way he doesn't crowd the switch. Let's see, you need to back up. And I need to cycle these 2 cars. Okay, so they're ready to go. I know the cars that are down there are ready. We'll be here in just a minute, so I can go ahead and get him turned around. So while he's waiting, actually I can go ahead and fill him up with water while he's sitting here. There's no reason to wait. Oops. Does he need coal? No, I'm not going to give him coal. I'm just going to give him water. These locomotives use more coal than water anyway. Oh good, I didn't crowd the switch. So what I'll do is once he's watered up, I'll send this engine forward with AI. Send him forward. He'll stop at the switch. When this train here passes, matter of fact, I need to go and set that switch up. Once that train passes, I'll send the next train down, throw that switch against him so he'll stop, bring him down, couple onto those, which they're all loaded. I'm getting to the point where I'm outstripping the capacity of these yards here. Okay, he's ready. Let's go the switch. That. Extinguish. Now he'll go down and wait, and as soon as he gets out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and turn this around for the pulpwood trains. I think this was the other reason why I did it like that, is so that these trains can go past each other. Because I usually turn them all about the same time. There we go. Actually, no, because I'm going to bring the empties in first. And I only do this like once a day, so it's hard for me to remember which way I got to do it. But I'll bring him down, bring up the empties, and then once the empties and all are down, we'll swap them out. So let's see here. He is watered. Patch. Send him forward. That's lined. So we can go up here as soon as he passes this switch. Throw the switch for the crossover. Throw that switch, get rid of that fusee. The main line, make sure that I got that switch thrown, and it is. He's almost here, so we'll just go over here and wait for him. Actually, he's already there, so let's go do this while he just got here. Alright, so we got these cars here loaded, or loading. Handbrake. Go. He just got into position, grab you. Forward. Where's my switch? Right there. Slow him down to 10, that way he doesn't get too carried away, because this is downhill. I know he needs to back up a little bit more, so this. Actually, that was the one. 30. Trying to do too much at one time. Oops. I mean that. I meant to do that. Which one's there? Okay, it's this guy. So he needs to go forward. 31 needs to come back. Just select 31. Which direction did I have him in? I can't remember now. He's facing, yeah, reverse. I just need to move him back ever so slightly. If he's out on the main, I know he's clear, so that's plenty. Alright. I throw that switch, I did. Grab you. Get you to reverse. 10. I can tell you today that I'm not gonna be in as big a rush to switch as I was, because we like I hammered on it, like it was just go 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 go. Now that I've got a flow to it, and I'm gonna have more engines that will make things go a little bit faster, I'm not gonna get in as big a hurry today as I had been. So while he is doing that, go down here. We'll tell this guy, grab him again. We'll come over here. Did I get the switch? I did. Cleared it. Just barely cleared it. Let me make sure that we're lined. Alright. Move him forward. This is the other thing. I've debated on getting bigger engines for this, because these guys, they're not struggling, but they're having a hard time getting up this hill. I've debated on replacing these, but I don't think I am. They work just well enough that I'm probably going to end up keeping them. Okay. Let me make sure that switch behind him is lined. It is not, so that means I didn't run through it. And I can give him orders to reverse at 25. And he'll go all the way down the main line to the fusee. I'm waiting here so he can clear these switches so I can swap them back where they need to be for the pulpwood train. That switch. And then this switch. No, that switch needs to stay. Actually, I need to swap this one back. I was thinking I'm gonna bring that pulpwood train down first, but I'm not. I'm gonna do the logs first. Speaking of the pulpwood, let's go get him squared away. Alright, where's my brake? It is right here. Normally I can do this almost blindfolded, but because I'm trying to explain what I'm doing, I'm getting ahead of myself. Plus usually I'm doing these one at a time. Maybe go set a fusee up for him. Line that switch. Come over here about right there, I think is where it needs to be. That's probably way further back than it needs to be. And then that switch gets thrown. We go over here. We kind of wait for that one to get by, and I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to do. That switch is lined for him to come in. He'll be here in just a second, because that camp's not very far up the railroad. But this is how I turn them, and I've been doing it twice a day, but I think today I'm only going to do it once, because just looking at the storage, they're sitting at 100%, and there's 10 cars sitting there. Actually, let me think about that for a second. Let me look. Nope, they're empty. But they're sitting at 100%, and they're not going to consume more than what's already there. So I'm not worried about it. These will turn. I'll turn these cars around at the end of the day. That's what I've been doing, and that's been working perfectly fine. Alright. Go ahead and order him to reverse. Down to 15. Go ahead and get rid of the fusee. Make sure that did I have to tell him? Yeah, I told him 25. I think what I'll do is, well, no, I can't do that. He's gonna have to wait. This is what sucks about doing these two at the same time. I may have to put the pulpwood in first. I can't remember if he'll clear. I don't think he will. He might. If he'll clear, then I'll just leave him here. Yeah, I think there's enough room there. Nope, not. Well, that means he's got to go on ahead of the other train. Let me tell him to go forward. I've got time, so it's not a big thing to get him by. It sucks that I have to take one bloody car. There's no way. I wish that they would extend these a little bit. And like I said, this is not 100% done. So that's done. That card, that one doesn't need to switch, but I do need to turn this one around and do it like I was going to do it. So line for the pulpwood side. That's line for him to come in, and then this one needs to be lined against. And then what I can do is he needs to stop, so put the fusee there, come down here, watch these guys do their do-si-do. He stopped. I can come up here and tell him to go ahead. Swap that one. Swap that one. You need water, you'll be fine. And then swap his orders to forward. And then all I gotta do is clear it behind him. It's coming down. They'll meet about the same time. Right about the time that I'll get him in the clear, this empty train will be coming up. Clears him up. Need to go over here and throw this switch. I can go over here and throw this one. Let's go grab him. Him his orders. Throw the switch behind him. Tell him to reverse at in so that he doesn't get too carried away. I should have plenty of time to go over here and remove that fusee and throw that switch. I've thought about buying more pulpwood cars, but honestly, it's just, there's no reason to right now. I'm able to handle the tier 5 contracts with what I've got, and the other option for that is this abomination right here. And this is steep. And I mean, the switchbacks give it away. This is a steep climb. I really don't want to mess with it. Not with what I got right now. If I do, I'll end up buying that that Mikado logging tank engine. I think I've still got him set for 15. I do. On up the railroad now. I think. Yeah, let's go ahead and service the 382 while I'm sitting here. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not going to. Because he's going to have another assignment here. One of the things I do need to do is, for reasons that will become clear later, is I'm going to send him back to Silva empty. It's just easier to do it with him. Let's see. Yeah, he needs to go first. Yeah. Put him in the siding. That stays there. There. There shouldn't be any fusees in the line, so I need him. I need him there. That's all I'm gonna say. Is I need him to go to Silva for right now. All right, he is about here. I hear the chuff chuff. And doing it like this has made life so much easier if you figure out a way to make the AI work in your favor. I mean, they're basically employees. It works better with real people, but I've got a flow to it now where I can send them to go do things while I go do something else. And that's usually how, like, I'm able to work everything, this entire half of the railroad, in 4 to 5 hours. Usually before noon, I've got everything done. And that's going from the interchange, switching out the cars, and then sending the train back. And then usually about noon, I'm waiting. One more. Is that 31? Yep, that's 30. All right. Alright, so that should be him ready to go. And that's all there is to it. Let me just go up here and make sure that I've got this switch line for him. Yep, that is. And that is. And that is all there is to it. He'll come up here and he'll line up on that track, and then they'll spend all day loading, and then this evening everything will be ready. The only thing I need to do right now is go up here, and I've got the loads in Whittier Yard. The pulpwood empties here. The logs empty are in the Connolly branch. Not gonna worry about that. Man, these tags. Let's see. Got ready for interchange there. Let's see. There's nothing in Whittier that's ready for interchange. There is some stuff in Ela that's ready. Stuff in Dillsboro that's ready. Something in Wilmot that's ready. And pulpwood, I'm just going to go ahead and pull that down. Just make another one that says pulpwood empties. Let's see. That one, so that's pulpwood empty sitting there. There's nothing in Dillsboro. No, Wilmot has one car, and there's nothing. Oh, Whittier's ready for interchange too. I know there's cars in Whittier that are ready to go. Loaded logs. I know that there are cars here. Cars that are at the bridge project, which I should probably make a tag for that too. This is the Bryson Bridge project. Not Bryson. Bryson Bridge project. So I know that there are cars there. And this seems like it's convoluted, but if I don't put these up here, I will forget. Put it down there somewhere. Yeah, if I don't... Where did my... What happened to my tag? Did I grab the wrong one? Oh, there it is. I grabbed the wrong one. It would be nice if they made it where you can color code these. So I'm just going to put Bryson Bridge project, and then it'll be ready for interchange. I think that's everybody. Oh, there is ready for interchange. I'll put this up here because there are cars here that are ready. So that's the workload for today, minus all this stuff over here. So you got pulpwood empties that are ready to come in. Let's see, I'll just do Bryson Freight West in there too. That's how we're looking at for today, and all this will be changed within 12 hours. Now I don't remember how many cars are there, but all right, now that's done. Come up here. He is lumbering his way up the hill. Did I give him? I did tell him 25. Man, he is struggling. Or did I did tell him 25, didn't I? I bet I told him 10. I did. I was gonna say, usually he shouldn't be struggling that hard. That's why most of the time I'll give them 25, but sometimes they obey yard limits, sometimes they don't. If you don't sit there and watch them. So as this train comes into the loading tracks, I'm going to leave it there and call this one good enough for now. That's been a little over an hour. Like I said, the next one should be sort of a montage video of the trains that are going to run through the day. That's one of the reasons why I'm not really worrying about this too much. But we're setting up for the bigger thing that will come down the road, and everybody will see it at one time. So it'll be that one. There may be another video before Christmas. Don't know. I got to work Christmas night, so probably not going to have too much more before the end of the year, because I know I got to work New Year's Day too. So any day now. All right. So with that being said, we're going to call this one done, and I will see you next time.